We
Ice
sure
cream
did.
has no
We sure
bones.
did do it,
So
everybody.
do they have lice or fleas?
No, we've discussed this.
think-
If you eat a small enough pellet of uranium, you will pass it mostly safely. Hello, internet.
With the fleas?
We have diverted from catgirls and talked about the digestibility of uranium and other potentially lethal things. Because anything is edible at least once, twice if you're
Even a
quick.
cactus.
According to the guy who cooks for a living or used to cook for a living, that's what we've determined here today. As always, hello. Sorry, let me redo this intro actually like a real person. Hi, welcome to the Ashe and Shade Committee. I'm Curtis, the GM, and the people that the guy that the three of you decided to torture yourself by hanging out with for 3 hours on a Wednesday. And with me are my three lovely torture victims, aka my players, whom I love dearly. We've got Chris, we've got Rachel, and we have Josh. If you're wondering where our boy Harri went, don't worry, our boy Harri is still alive. He's currently being carried around by a smoke method looking for something. Which we'll find out later on what the hell happened to that boy. Last week, we did something a little different. We started out with you guys as members of the Kendoan Resistance. And y'all were basically trying to fight off a very large mob of people and get inside and figure out what the hell was going on. You were all able to, your lovely Resistance members were all able to escape safely and unharmed from this burning Brotherhood structure, home to a few hundred people during the busy times, but a very large Brotherhood complex has been put to the torch by an angry mob of locals and natives outside, basically swearing to burn it down because the Brotherhood has, quote, kept the past hidden from them and lied to them. Conveniently, the Ashe and Jade Committee jumped in, had a convenient teleport into the basement that was on fire, and is now taking umbrage with this angry mob outside. You found the highest ranking brother and the brother that Atronix sent you after, named Brother Kai, who seems to have a very, very fine degree of elemental control. He was using a fire elemental to make sure people were able to move safely and diminishing the fire where he could. But after a brief conversation with him, he basically declared the building lost to the flames because it's the desert. There's not a lot of wet wood to slow down what's going on, and water is a scarcity, even in a magical society where you can just make a ton of water. The tools to use that are not available at the moment. So yeah, Brother Kai is kind of written off the building, so y'all have taken some umbrage with that. Busting down the wall of the third floor, looking down into the angry mob, and you saw the ringleader. A mohawked gentleman with these three large red crests of hair, tattoos on the sides of his head, and also on this heavy hood that he was wearing. It's been thrown back as Thalia has put on her angel battle pants and is currently flying 40 like around the fourth floor, which is about. Josh, correct me on my math here because this was an out of game discussion about how tall a floor the building is.
Tall.
3 stories is 50 feet?
36.
36.
Ish.
Okay, so about 40 feet. So Thalia is probably, we'll say 50 for easy math. Thalia's about 50 feet off the ground. Big old glowy friend. And Ronon and Lomey have leapt down and cracked the foundation stone in front of the Brotherhood, and are standing there. The mob has kind of backed away from you, and cleared out to this ring, I'd say probably 40 feet from the door, but a large number of them are within, are still kind of gathered around this ringleader who has 2 larger, burlier looking gentlemen next to him. And I believe when we left off, Thalia, you had decreed witness the truth. And I think that's where we're going to pick back up. Unless there's
Witness
something that
me.
I missed that you feel is important.
All of the boys, all the people lived.
I
Even Sarah.
led with that. Yeah.
They're alive.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was
Sarah
still
has-
adjusting volumes at that
That's
point.
fair. That's fair. Sarah actually has tunneled her way into the basement, where all of the cool magical artifacts are, with a couple of new Brotherhood friends that she has made along the way.
A bean sprout is gonna take over the area, or a mummy pyramid, one or the other.
Ooh, do they have a bag of beans down there? Where are my dice? Hold on. I'm going to find out if they have a bag of beans down there.
What happens
yeah.
if you cook the beans?
There is a 64% chance that there is a bag of beans down there. So
Is that going to make a cooked mummy lord, maybe?
a toasted, gently toasted. Actually, it's a fire mummy lord, and they're even worse.
Oh, no.
But yes.
Because they don't like fire, but if it's a fire mummy lord, then you take away their one weakness.
Yep. It's great. So, anywho, we will pick back up. There is a stunned moment of silence as the three of you are taking your positions, and you can hear mumbling and conversation happening above your head in Primordial as Brother Kai is speaking to his elemental friend. And they're working on pushing back some more of the flames and keeping the building from collapsing on top of your heads. The building behind you is throwing tremendous. It is the brightest thing in the city right now. Is this beacon? Actually, no, you're right. I did say that last session. Thalia is the brightest thing in the burning, brightest thing in the vicinity, and what would have been just lit with this very ruddy amber is now washed out with this golden white as you're hovering up there, a literal beacon. And through that stunned silence, you can hear the heavy clanks of marching footsteps. As Thalia and the rest of you, before you jump down, saw some very heavily armored forms marching over, purely robotically, heavily armed versions of the particular warforged that tried to abduct you in the last time you were outside of a Brotherhood building at night. We're kind of back, but this time they're sending 8 of them, and they look much angrier and much more heavily plated than the last batch. What would y'all like to do? Or are you going to wait for the Crier to respond? The ringleader, because Thalia kind of threw down a gauntlet.
I want to witness the truth.
Which is
Personally,
what?
I don't know. I don't know what the truth is.
That's
Because
I,
really-
I said I witnessed the truth.
Oh, you witnessed the truth.
I witnessed the truth.
Okay.
Oh.
You see the gentleman as the mohawked gentleman sort of pulls down his hand away from his eyes and is looking up, and he just kind of, welcome. Are you here for their truth or for yours?
I'm gonna float down a little bit. We're not touching feet. Feet are not touching the ground here yet. Little flex. I'm telling him about like 5 feet above him. I'm just gonna let him keep talking.
You notice as you get closer, the 2 gentlemen that are with him, they're heavier bruisers, definitely have the look of mercenaries, sell swords. Their armor, there's no identifying marker other than a piece of red fabric that they've kind of tucked in or like tied around their armor as an identifier. For a brief moment, they kind of look at each other and look to the mohawked gentleman, but they don't draw swords. They're looking at each other, looking at the boss. The boss doesn't react. And so they let him continue the conversation. He goes, you must be Thalia. Unless some other angel has joined up with this ragtag group of adventurers you have. We know of you. We know what you do.
But you know, like, all of our names?
Yes, Lomey.
Got me there.
So, whose truth are you fighting for?
I don't think that's how truth works. You don't get to pick.
They do. And he points to the burning building behind you, to Brother Kai, whose back is to all of you as he's trying to work this flame and taking out, adjusting where it is burning. He goes, they have all the histories. But whatever they find is worth sharing, that's what they can write down. They can change whatever they want. And they could forget whatever they want us to not know about. In Eastov, there's a structure underground filled with statues that used to be people. And if you look in any Brotherhood library on this planet, you won't find a single record of it.
I mean, to be fair, you can ask anyone, and you're the only person that I've met that knows about it. Even people who were alive then don't know about it.
But you know about it.
Yes.
So, have you told anyone to let people know of this momentous discovery?
I mean, all the people in Eastov know about it because they were there.
But did you tell any of the Mages College? Did you tell any historians about this discovery?
I didn't.
Who did you tell?
I told Lythar.
I don't think I told anyone. That's
And why
not
is
my
that?
job. There are plenty of people who were there who has witnessed it. Word of mouth will spread.
But you're Ronon Dex. You're a legend. Surely you know people you can tell. You have a Brotherhood member amongst you.
No, she was there, so she saw it, so I don't have to tell her.
Aha! Gotcha.
And you told. Reported to your superiors, I'm assuming. And this... No one here knows of a discovery like that.
Well, you do. How did you hear about it? You're acting like these people are hiding this from you when we just found it not too long ago. It's not like there are criers yelling in the streets of every single thing that goes on anywhere in the world. Eastov is halfway across the continent from here.
And if half of what I've heard about that site is true, the entire continent should have known about it once it was found. A discovery like that, literally underground, under our feet. Who knows what's under here?
Maybe another one.
See, I asked if I could look for a place like that. You know what the Brotherhood told me? No. It's not safe in the catacombs. It's not safe in the channels below. But they're hiding something from us.
Why
There's no
didn't you
way.
just go look anyway? That's what we usually do.
We are just the people. We would like answers.
So you burned down all the answers?
We asked for answers, and they were not given. We asked for access, and it was denied.
Well, it's
Who
denied
does that
now.
except for people who have something to hide? And he turns
Maybe they
away from
think
you
you're
and
mean.
turns to the crowd. There was a war, my friends, that has been completely stricken from all of us. Something was taken that we all thought was sacred. Our memories, our own personal minds have been stripped away. You heard it himself. He has friends who were alive when this war happened that don't remember it. That takes power, and that takes knowledge, and that takes intent. Who here has the power to do something like that? None of us. Who here has the resources to systemically wipe out a history? Certainly not us. Certainly not any king or empire on their own. But if you had every single book ever written pass through your doors, you can censor anything and write your own histories. And that's not fair to any of us. And you start to hear the crowd starting to warm up to his rhetoric as he's turning, and he's no longer negotiating with you all. He is firing up the audience. Anything y'all want to do?
So you seek to make things open.
Yes, in a sense.
And who shared the truth with you? And do you share the truth openly? Do you share all of your secrets? Your name?
I have none. They call me the Crier.
Insight check.
Sure, insight.
7.
He thinks he doesn't have a name. It's weird that he doesn't have a name.
And now, with the Brotherhood gone,
Here.
what do you propose to rise up in its place? For something shall surely rise up in its place. No city is without its underside. No city is without its history. Do you intend to rise up in its place?
No. That is why I don't have a name. I have no name to be attached to the history books. I am...
A coward trying to hide.
What did your mother
Hide.
call you?
No. I stand here before all of you.
Yet you have no way to be traced in history. You are nothing. No way for you to be remembered. So
As it
you're
should be.
afraid of
As
what
the
they will
one
write about
who
you.
freed a truth? Surely you clearly care about this. And yes, we should all make sure the history stays truthful. For that I do agree. A people that do not hold history accountable is a people in danger.
Accountability. And he starts to shrug out of his heavy leather hood, and he sort of drops it on the ground behind him, and he is studded with pieces of metal and covered in scars. Because I was nothing in this city. I am its voice. I'm the voice of Kondo because I speak for the people who have had no one to speak for them before. They speak.
Do you speak for Kondo itself, or do you speak for the voiceless? There's a difference, because speaking for Kondo would include those who you proclaim. Gestures to burning building. Do they not call themselves part of Kondo?
They have abandoned us.
But
I speak
if you
for
claim to
these
speak for them,
people.
so you speak for those, the voiceless. If you're going to speak the truth, you must be specific.
Roll me persuasion real quick. Because that's the right level of pedantic that you might trip him up.
30! I have a plus 14 to persuasion.
That's right, you do.
14!
Why did I ask the bard to make a persuasion check? The world may never know. You see, his patter, his flow, he was just getting ahead of steam as he was turning with his studded arms up to show the audience. You knew that he was going to turn, and he goes, "I speak for you." And you've worked public events, you've worked public speaking. You know he was going to try and turn this into a moment to get the crowd again on his side. And you see him kind of stop and like lose his steam a little bit. And there's a pause that's just a hair too long, and the audience kind of, who does he speak for? Who's he talking to? And the murmuring is starting to get momentum before he kind of pulls his, draws the attention back to himself.
For we are listening. If one speaks, one must listen.
We are the people that are driven down into the sands. We are the people that are left outside. While those fat bastards, and he points up to a large palace further towards the city. While those fat, arrogant, tattooed bastards do whatever the hell they want. These are the people that go out to fight in this uprising for the exiled son and come back and don't get anything.
Now, wait a minute, because I thought you were riling them up because they killed the fat bastard.
You're
You
correct.
claim that they killed the fat bastard, which they didn't. He's alive.
Prove it.
Saw him today.
Prove to me that he's alive.
Prove to me that he's dead. I don't lie.
If I may.
You can ask my friend Firo. I told him I would throw him off of a cliff, and I did.
He looks to you, Thalia. If I may. He reaches into one of his pants pockets and pulls out a small silver sphere of glass. And he holds it up. And in your radiance, the light enters the sphere, begins to glow, and shoots out the back onto a boarded up cafe. Front wall of a projector screen. And you all recognize footage from the wedding. You see the vizier stand up next to the Raj and the mayor. You see an enormous blast of black smoke, not pink. And you see Thalia, you see yourself running into the cloud. And you see the tussle with Brother Bartholomew off to the side. And you see when the cloud clears, the Raj lying in the middle of what looks like a smoking ruin. He holds up the sphere and goes, "This is what the truth is."
Thalia, do you want to break his bubble?
I do not deny that is the truth. But what conclusion did you draw? Do you see he still breathes? I do not lie. There was an attack. He was present. He was harmed. But do you see he still breathes in this image?
I see that there's a Brotherhood member here who has traveled across the continent. I know there was an attack. I know that you were there, and now you're here. Just as we're trying to take power for our own. I see that that is not coincidence.
Do you see off in the corner of that image an axe shining?
I do.
That is our initial purpose. I do not deny. I am personally intrigued on what is happening here. I witness the truth. I speak that truthfully. I wanted to witness the truth, not what Brotherhood told me, not what former residents told me, not what society tells me. We came to witness the truth. The axe, I admit, is our main draw here. Lomey, show them the axe.
Oh, this one. It's an ugly thing, really.
A deity is involved. A power higher than the three of us. Surely we can agree on that.
The axe is of no concern. If that is your main purpose, then leave and let us continue our work.
I mean, it's
Did
already...
anyone in this crowd have family, friends who worked here?
Roll perception for me. Anybody who wants to take a peek.
22.
12.
16.
Ooh.
Thalia, as you're addressing the crowd is, the crowd looks torn a little bit back and forth in this conversation. And the Crier has lost a little bit of his grip on them, especially further away from him. But you're seeing a general sense of none of these people had family here. And the murmurs kind of go, no, I wouldn't trust anyone who works here.
In order for it to be truth, isn't one side proven wrong? In order for me to witness the truth, both sides must be heard. So please understand, one side is being annihilated before their voice is spoken. And I know you may say their voice has already been spoken. But am I not listening to your arguments?
We have asked to prove our own arguments. We have asked again and again for chance, and we have been stymied and denied at every turn. You are a Brotherhood member of your own volition. You are not an impartial witness to this.
I'm going to turn around and yell up to Brother Kai. Brother Kai, have you ever seen this man before ask you of anything in your entire life?
Kind of busy.
Just answer the question. It's important.
Hold on. And he turns around and he makes eye contact with the crier. He goes, "Hello, brother." And Kai goes, "Oh, no."
Brother?
Younger acolyte, never got his name. He kind of pushes a piece of building back into place, and you see mud kind of cover it up. He speaks the truth that he did ask to go underground and explore. It was too dangerous for anyone unassisted to go look.
Why did you not offer assistance?
We're short-handed. We had no one to spare. And he kept asking.
Did you explain that assistance would be required? Could you not have requested more hands? You have the capability of transport.
Yes. It was not worth the effort to go exploring these well-documented catacombs. We have covered every inch of those in light of your discovery, and we found nothing.
Did you share that?
I did. He refused to believe me. I refuse to believe your lies, brother. You're full of shit.
Question though, can we circle back to the whole Raj being dead thing based on your footage? Because he's clearly still breathing. So you have assumed that he is dead when he is in fact not.
Would you care to take a closer look?
Would you care to take a closer look to my memory?
As we've seen, memories can be altered.
Why can't your stone have been altered?
Take a look. This is my evidence. And he'll toss it up to you, Thalia. If you want to take a peek at it.
Take a peek.
Okay. Roll me investigation. This is not to find evidence that the Raj is alive, because you know he's alive. This is to find proof.
15.
15. It looks flawless. If you know this is a fake, and it is a damn good fake, but you are having a very hard time finding this. However, you recognize the angle from this footage is where Atronic said he found that green Modron. Rough positioning, give or take a little bit, but over on that side of the pavilion where Atronic came back from, as he recapped you. And as you're holding the sphere and looking intently, the tromping of steel comes louder and closer and louder and closer. And the mob tightens in a little more around the building, closing in, filling in the space between the crier and the fountain at his back. and you see 8 large metal figures, large steel chassis that could hold multiple people inside, come tromping forward in crisp military precision. Doof, 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 and just form a line in front of the entrance, sort of blocking off the gateway into the courtyard where everyone has stood. And you see the crowd again, kind of shrunking in, getting closer and closer to the crier. And as one, all 8 units, all 8 devastators speak. Citizens, this is an unlawful gathering. Return to your homes immediately. Citizens, this is an unlawful gathering. Please return to your homes immediately.
This doesn't look great.
May I ask, are you impartial?
Are you
Is you
asking
not
the
deny?
Devastator?
No, I'm
Or you're
asking
asking the crier.
You, as you say, I am a Brotherhood member. I've not been in a tie to a building in some time. You know of my actions. Well, my history of Eastoff has been released.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I understand that there are times when those in power should not be. So I ask, are you impartial?
I'm human. It
As
is
we all are.
impossible for impartiality. No, not all of us. Some of us aspire to something greater. And yes, I couldn't be impartial enough to join your book club.
So you claim that the Brotherhood training includes members that are trained to be impartial?
I couldn't sit by
Is that not what
and
you said?
watch people write down histories of fascism and cruelty from leaders and just acknowledge it as a piece of history without doing something about it. I'm doing something about it.
As am I.
Well, then we have our answer, I suppose.
Am I not, have my actions in Eastoff have not proved that you are not alone?
Then why do you stand in our way? Join us. Your friends may argue with it, but you're clearly in charge.
Actually, this is a committee.
He leans in a little closer and kind of gestures you down. We have the same enemy. And he turns.
I have a lot of enemies. You're going to need to elaborate. I'll whisper.
He likes crimson. And he throws up his hands and turns to the Devastators. Gentlemen, my apologies. We will be leaving here momentarily. We are just a humble bucket brigade here to assist in this catastrophe that has happened. Do you have any buckets? For ours have been lost in the flames. And the crowd's kind of like, what is it?
You speak the truth? You mean to aid these people in this building?
What for want of a bucket, I would. And he starts to weave his way between the devastators, and the crowd starts to kind of mumbling. This part of the crowd has kind of gotten the clue that, like, the cops are here, we need to boogie.
And the rest of you intend to help as well. How generous.
Just kind of, like,
We shall procure some buckets.
People, like, putting up hoods and just, like, starting to scatter, especially around the front side of the building.
pulls out a bucket and throws it to somebody.
Crier, your bucket? As you said, accountability to the truth.
Roll me persuasion check. I'll give you advantage because you absolutely called him out on it. Where'd you get the bucket, Ronan? Just out of curiosity.
Didn't Blaze give me a bucket?
I don't know. You're Blaze. I don't think he gave...
Yeah.
No, you did give him the bucket.
Yeah, I gave myself a bucket.
Oh, no. If only I could have seen this coming. Son of a bitch.
Surprise!
Damn it, Chris.
Pocket bucket.
Bucket of sand.
He has sort of made his way through the line of devastators. And the crowd is kind of mumbling around and goes, you don't happen to have any more buckets? It will take several, and we have very little water here.
Oh, that's what they're doing with the buckets. I was confused.
Unfortunately,
Only had the one.
Question, would I know that sand can be used to put out some flames?
oh, 100%.
Water when you can use sand? An available resource, readily available? Are you suggesting we waste resources? As your first option?
As you're standing there, he's looking around, and the crowd is losing faith in him in this moment. And they're starting to kind of lose this almost invisible sort of attention, this rapture they've had him wrapped in, or he's had this crowd wrapped in. They're kind of like, yeah, what do it? Are we helping? Are we not helping? Why I thought we were here to burn it down? Why is this happening? And the crowd goes, well, actually, and from up above, you hear Brother Kai just go, nope, out of the way. And Lomey, you, from directly above you, you see Brother Kai jump out of the third story where the building is starting to, again, rumble and collapse. And now the large stones that he has been trying to support are starting to collapse in on themselves. Yeah, Brother Kai is coming careening towards you. What do you do?
I try and catch him.
Okay. Give me a acrobatics or athletics check.
Athletics it is, baby. 18.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, you're princess catch. And you see he is dirty, he is sooty, he's disheveled. He goes, good catch.
Yeah, can't you fly or some dumb shit?
My winged shoes were stolen a while back.
R.I.P.
Yeah, it was a small gnome that made off with my boots in the night.
Okay, cool. And I gently drop him.
And he pulls himself up. And the crier just goes, oh, it appears we were too late to assist.
The crier says they speak for you. I'm addressing the crowd. I shall not argue this, if you agree. If he does truly speak for each of you. I do not need an answer, for I am not beholden to one. But don't you deserve your voice? And if your voice is to support that one, so be it. But does the crier speak for you, people of Kondo? For I see confusion and uncertainty.
Roll me. Roll me a charisma check. Straight charisma.
$18.
There is almost an audible crackle as your words push out into the world, addressing not the face of the crowd, but the faces in it. And there is a moment where the tension, as everyone is just kind of confused and everything just kind of tightens up for a second, and then releases as all the people around the front of this building begin to question, begin to ask, what are we doing? Why are we here? Why the building? Who burned down the Brotherhood? We need buckets. We need something. We gotta go. And you see, like, small clusters of people are beginning to basically panic, looking around, trying to find something that has. Looking around for buckets, looking around, seeing there's these small patches of greenery on either side that are still on fire, and they're trying to put out the trees or put out the tarps. And as you look up from the faces of these people, I'd say probably 40% of them are starting to find places to help. But the Crier and his goons are gone behind the Devastators. And the Devastators are continuing to stand. And as people are starting to mill around, they go, "Halt. Please, evacuate the area. This is an emergency. Evacuate the area immediately." And are beginning to they've opened a pathway for people to escape between them, probably 10 feet wide. And a large number of the people that are either running out to find help or are running to go find things, or just running. What would y'all like to do?
I'm not sure what to do. I'm usually the one burning the building down.
I'm gonna drop my transformation, my polymorph.
Okay.
Are people putting out the building, or just like looking at your map? Are they putting out the building, or just like do they recognize that the building cannot be saved, and like
they're
just trying to stop the
they're trying
spread
to stop
of it?
the ancillary stuff and making sure that any of the embers that have gone out, as they get closer, the heat. Lomey, as you're standing there, you see Brother Kai kind of pull himself up and sort of enshroud like his back and shoulders in his flame elemental that he has at his beck and call. And once he does that, you notice that like he stops sweating quite as visibly. It is hot next to this inferno. It is not it's not cozy. It's not comfortable for most people, but for you, it's fine. As both
Feels like home.
Someone who grew up here. A little warmer than usual, but it's not the worst you've ever experienced.
Small rebellions and desert heat.
But you're
home,
noticing
baby.
Folks are Thalia, you're noticing folks are putting out the smaller fires. There are a few unmoving figures that have been dragged into one of those one of those more bushy areas and laid down in the grass there, and covered with tarps or rugs that they were able to find from nearby. You'll notice that around the back of the building, though, there are still shouts of burn it down and more just general ruckus around the back. As whatever your conversation, your persuasion with them did not necessarily work on this group in the back. They seemed a little more focused.
I will, if the bucket's still just available, grab the bucket and
hold the bucket.
help put out some of the ancillary stuff. As I'll help put out the stuff so it doesn't spread, and then when it gets to a point that, like, other than the massive burning building, like when all the other side stuff, I'm just gonna stand on the cracked foundation stone and witness the building as it burns.
Okay. The foundation stone is like directly in front of the door. So you're going to be like right up against the building.
Or say like uncomfortable, but not unsafe.
Okay. Yeah. For that, you'd probably like the fountain that's a little ways in would be a better spot to see the whole thing.
Okay.
Thalia, don't lose my bucket. I'm going to walk around back.
Okay. Anybody going with him? Or you just go by yourself?
I will go with him.
Okay. Around the back. I built this beautiful battle map that I didn't get to use.
This can be
it's
the back.
very pretty. I referenced it here.
There's a fountain behind it too.
I'm gonna show off this map because I spent a little too long working on it, and I'm very proud of it.
It's always time to ruin our lives later. It's okay.
Yeah, here's this cool map. So yeah, y'all are standing here. The scorch marks are from our lightning boy in the other day, and the blood spatter is from Molly. R.I.P. Molly, we'll miss you. You died, and now someone has to run the Night and Slay Cafe. Rip that guy. So yeah, around the back of the building. You going around the left? You going around the right?
Left.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're heading up the north side of the building. As you are trundling along, you're starting to see. You're still seeing large groups, and most of them have stopped throwing things. Most of them have stopped trying to break the building because the building is broken. They're just watching it burn. You do see as you walk by almost like a cartoon figure of a person smashed through one of the shutters, smashed outwards. But as you walk up, you hear the crowd being like, "Oh shit! Oh he's a big fucker. He's a big guy. Hey, is he with us? Is he with us or is he with the other guy? Who's he with? I don't know. He looks like oh shit. He looks like that Ronon kid. Oh, it can't be him. There's no way. He's up in. He wouldn't be here. Why the hell would he be here?" As you approach, as you get within probably about 15 feet, are you doing anything? Or just walking.
Just walking. My goal is to get between the largest amount of people and the burning building.
Okay. You'd have to basically circle around to the entire ass end of the building, almost where you came in. And you've got to like walk around the rest of the oval to get there. But like as people are walking, are weapons drawn? Weapons? What kind of walk are you doing?
A pissed off one. I'm gonna have out the hammer, fulcrum.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, as you're walking out, Lomey, do you have anything drawn?
Nope.
Okay.
Ronon, what the hell are you doing?
Going to make friends. That's a joke.
I picked up on that. Very good. You're getting better at this humor stuff.
Okay.
But really, what the hell are you doing?
Make them all leave.
I think, okay. No smashing. Not
A
yet.
little bit of smashing.
No. Wave it around menacingly.
What's the are people getting out of my way? What are they doing?
People are generally like kind of concerned. There's a couple as you start to walk, people are like, "Oh shit, like this guy's coming. Is he going to break down?" Like the lot of the discussion is whose side is this dude on? But as you get closer, they're starting to be like, "Oh no, this guy is trouble," and they're starting to drop their weapons, their smaller bits and pieces that have been here, and they're starting to leave some of them behind, but they're starting to gather into this group towards the back of the building, and there's a little bit of a hue and cry coming up from folks in the back as they are letting people know that there's company coming, and it doesn't look friendly. But the building is burning merrily away beside you. As you make your way, you're almost to the corner of the building, and there's a couple.
Is there any ash on the building?
Not at ground. If you're noticing that there are bits of it sort of drifting down further from the outskirts of the building as the air is being pulled in and thrown up. The ash is starting to sift down. There's a pretty strong breeze, especially as the flames are glowing.
Huh.
There's not a ton of ash. If you really wanted to ash yourself up, you could.
Nah.
But you start to move over, and there's a group of about 8 bigger looking guys. Look like they are boatmen or dock workers or something like that. Just loose shirts and actual weapons, actual short swords, come up and they're like, hey buddy, what do you mind telling me what you're doing here?
I suggest you all go home.
I suggest you listen to him.
And kind of all 8 of them kind of just look at you. Can I get an intimidation check, please? Lomey, if you want to assist with you should listen to him. Yeah, all right. So advantage for our boy. I feel like these guys are not gonna do well.
Good old-fashioned Western stare down.
That is a 25.
Wow, wow, wow.
Some of the smaller looking ones on the sides kind of like, no, we should go. He looks like he doesn't really fuck around. He's like, why? This seems like a nice place to have a picnic.
I mean, the whole crowd at the front of the building all left when the Devastators showed up.
Yeah.
And now I'm back here. So you can either go up there, deal with the Devastators, or deal with me, or you could just go home.
Sounds to me like you just didn't want to play with the Devastators yourself. The hammer's just for show.
Devastators are paying me no mind, friend.
And I suggest you do the same for us.
Nope.
We'll be out of here in a couple of minutes.
Giant's might.
Oh,
Oh, that's nightmarish. Oh, I love that.
no, he didn't like that.
he turns, he's like, yeah, right, we'll be out of here in a couple of minutes, guys, right? And you just see the Ronon just suddenly, like 11, 12 feet tall. Just
About...
Yeah,
I'll
fully
put a hand on his shoulder and just
side lit from the flames, and you grab this dude. Yeah, make an athletics check to hold him. Oop, that's. You know what? This will work. We'll keep the music.
Yep.
We'll keep this pop.
Whew. Athletics.
27.
Whole
Christ on a bike. Yeah, you just like pick him up, and he's like, "Huh, oh,
Squeeze a little bit.
yeah, you got my attention. Now, you know what? We were just going, right, guys? We were just about to leave, and you kind of picked me up. I can't leave if you picked me up.
Yeet!
Where are you throwing this man?
Just down the street.
Just like into the crowd or back behind you?
Into the crowd.
Okay. Yeah, roll.
As he's rolling his arm back, I'm just gonna say, "I told you."
Give me a. Give me a athletics check to chuck him. Do you get advantage for Giant's Might?
I do.
Yeah, you fucking better. You're grabbing like a 200-pound dude with one hand and yeeting him.
26.
26. Yeah. He goes and kind of just, he spread eagle spirals and just, and you see him land in the crowd. What's your fucking strength, buddy? Is it 20?
Yeah.
Yep. And you just hear like, and the crowd's just like, oh Jesus, what was that? And you see the other dudes that were with him start to run. They start to book it out of here.
I wave at them.
Okay. So they start to run, and that does that thing where you spook one person in a crowd, or you get like 3 people in a crowd, and that herd mentality kicks in, and they start just running. So they start to run towards the back of sort of the gatehouse area, where there's a single gate. It's not very big.
Oh no. Does it open inward?
No, it opens out. Please, these people understand fire code. Please, of all the people, the Brotherhood's gonna have a fire safe door. But you're seeing people like knocking over this gate and climbing over it. Around the other side of the building, you hear people being like, hey, is that a fight over there? And you start to hear folks running around the other side of the building, spoiling for a fight. You've now entered sort of the back area, and it looks like just a very large paved road and what looks like a service door, like a loading dock door, big enough to drive a wagon in. And as you're seeing a couple more guys, you're seeing a group of probably 15 to 18 guys just coming up together and like standing together and pulling their fists. And you and Lomey turn around the corner. And there's a look as the two of you come around the corner, just completely backlit by these flames, that they are a little unsure of what the hell's going to happen.
Are they still coming?
Oh, no, they've stopped. They're about 10 feet away from you, weapons drawn, waiting. You're literally larger than life right now.
Boo.
Roll Intimidate, please.
Only 17.
Only 17. At advantage because you're bigger than they are. I'll give you that.
17.
Oh, wow.
Rolled the same thing.
Oh, that's... All right, let me see how these fuckers do. Oh, my God. Well, 5 of them jump and break off. There's about a dozen guys left that are all a little nervous, but they're like, oh, he's just a big guy. We've taken out big guys before, right? We could take this one. And they're gonna rush you two. Can I get an initiative roll, please?
Oh.
How rude. I was gonna wave it on the little good cop, bad cop, you know?
I mean, unless Ronan's gonna do something that TKOs the entire room.
Don't forget your +4, Ronon.
Oh. 24.
24?
21.
All right. Yeah, so it'll be Ronon and then Lomey, and then if they're still alive, they'll get a turn.
I would like to rage.
Amazing. What rage would you like to do?
I wish I could pick. I'm not allowed to do that yet. Where's my wild surge? What do I need? D8?
D8. It's like me and Dispel Magic. I never know how this shit works.
I don't even know what that one is. Oh, it's the Shadowy Tendrils one.
Okay.
Shadowy Tendrils lash out around you. Each creature of my choice that I can see within 30 feet of me must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 necrotic damage.
What's the DC?
Probably my Constitution,
Got
which is DC equals 8 plus proficiency, which is 5 plus Constitution, which
So-
is 4.
so 17. Yeah, they all fail. Roll damage.
I sense I won't be needing a plan.
6.
Okay. So yeah, you just kind of get down and roar, and the smoke that's sort of pillowing off the building behind you follows the scream, follows your battle cry, which, Thalia, you hear at the front of the building, as do the Devastators. But the smoke kind of lashes out with it and sort of wraps around and through all of them, and they all start coughing as they've just inhaled a whole bunch of smoke and other shadowy tendrily bits. None of them have broken yet. Lomey, you're up, my friend.
Well, that was just my bonus action.
Oh, fuck, that's right. You get a full attack.
No, put the hammer away.
I knew it was
just-
going to happen.
Boom! We're gonna punch one.
Okay.
Rock'em
Give me
sock'em
right in the face.
unarmed strike, my friend. Do you want to go for
Now,
the...
since I'm big, do I get the extra big damage?
Roll boulder.
What's the big damage?
I get an extra D6 on attack rolls.
Oh, yeah, you get the bonus damage.
All right.
Yeah, roll the hit. my
So
friend.
what's an unarmed attack? I don't even know.
It'll be...
Reckless. Do my
Okay.
fists count as a great weapon?
you can do...
They're
not a
pretty great.
weapon. They're okay.
16.
That'll hit.
Well, it's a 16 on a die. I don't know what I get
No,
for
that'll hit.
pluses for my fists. Okay.
Dude's in light armor. Or no armor. He
And then
playing
what? It
he
just
was here
does
for arson.
my... It does my strength plus a D6?
It is... Do. 1 plus your strength mod plus a d6 because you're big.
So 6 plus 4, 10 bludgeoning damage.
Cool. How do you want to remove this man?
I just want to knock him out, just straight across the face, just whack. And hopefully I don't break his neck when I do it.
Dude, like your fist connects. You went to punch him in the face. Your fist is big enough you catch him in the chin and also the clavicle. And just boom, and he hits and skids across the stones and the brickwork.
Extra
see him.
attack. Whack!
You going for the next guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Roll the hit.
Natural 18.
Yeah. Yeah. Roll your d6.
6 plus 5.
Yep. Nope.
11.
He's down 2.
Whack! And then I'll just do the little wiggle.
Do a little wiggle. They are horrified. These guys are like, oh fuck. I'm not with them. I'm gonna. And they just like kind of shuffle out to the side and run. As they turn and book it away, they
I wave
just-
at them.
They start to run. From the side of the building, there is a this chorus of giggles. As how many of those does this make?
Is it the possum?
Oh no, it's the bag of beans. It found water.
There's no water here. A gaggle of 8 tiny, like, child-sized figures just wreathed in flame with big toothy grins just pop through some of the burning stones that are
I'm
still
picturing
intact.
fire Sour Patch Kids. Is that
bigger claws and more teeth.
Okay.
Like shadow,
impy
like you know what
boys.
happens when you feed a gremlin?
Yeah.
That, but like on fire, like a Furby, but on fire.
Okay. As all Furbies should be.
As they should be. So
Yeah.
8 of these things just kind of pop out, and they're like, yee. Oh. I'll just kind
I
of
wave at them.
Is this your fire?
No, could you actually make it stop?
Oh no, I stop.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of important stuff in there.
Well, not anymore. We got out.
Oh. Well, you
Yeah.
do seem very important. Who
Who
are
are
you?
you?
What is my name? I'm Pyro. And these are Plastic, Flow, Mag. Yeah, where's
And Ma. They brought their Ma.
No, Ma's at home. Ma didn't come on this trip. But yeah, we're, Master summoned us, and now we're here. So, can we keep playing, or are you gonna put this out?
I think the goal is to put it out.
Well, that's no fun.
Oh, wait, I'm angry.
Are you guys gonna hurt anybody when you play with the fire?
Is there anybody inside?
I sure hope not, because I'm not going to look.
Oh. Who are those guys? And they're pointing at the crowd that is like working their way around, running the fuck away from you all. And now this gaggle of small, fiery little imps that have popped out of the building. Shit's gotten too weird for them. The angel they were kind of okay with. This is too much.
I'm gonna use my 40 feet of movement on my turn to chase after them.
Oh, we're going. And they start chasing along with you. And they're just like, as they're running, they get brighter and brighter and brighter. They're not quite as quick as you. But Lomey, it's your turn if you want to do anything, or if you guys just want to form a chasing party and flush
I'm
these
just gonna
people.
follow Ronon with the fire guys. I guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at one of them as we're running. Been in the fire business long?
Yeah. Pretty long time. You looking for? Do you need something burnt down?
No, I'm very good at it myself. Thank you, though.
Oh, it's good to meet another industry professional. And they keep running.
Wanted you to ask them about fire traps so bad.
You're noticing, Lomey, as you're running behind this group, where their feet are touching the cobblestones, it is melting into lava.
Oh.
So yeah, the crowd in front of y'all is dead run, just getting the fuck out of that situation. As Thalia, you're sitting and observing the fire. You hear Ronan you hear the battle cry of Ronan, and you hear this like high pitched giggling that sounds like it's coming from up a chimney. Weirdly, there's a weird acoustic thing to it as you're just running, and you watch as this herd of people at a dead run. People are starting to trip, and they're getting kind of pushed out of the way as groups are just booking it past. And the Devastators are like, "Citizens, this way to safety. Citizens, this way to safety. Thank you." And they're just woof, and after a few moments, the crowd is vacated.
For being robots so they're unable to be bargained with, they certainly let that man walk by them really easily. I don't think they're that smart in the grand scheme of things. I just want to continue to run around the building until I get back to Thalia, yelling at people to go home.
No,
in an angry, scary voice.
When you bring that mass of humanity, you see Thalia perched on top of the fountain that is being pretty well drained for its water to save whatever they can. You see Thalia perched atop that fountain, watching it burn. You see Brother Kai, again, putting out some of the bigger fires, putting out some of the larger pieces of debris that they just can't put enough water on. And everything is fairly quiet. As the large mob dissipates and runs past. Ronan, are you going to run another lap, or?
No.
Okay. The small creatures, Thalia, you give me an Arcana check, please.
$18.
18. You recognize these guys as entities from the elemental plane of fire. They are
Imagine
magmins.
that.
They are tiny
What?
fire elementals.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Magmins. They
need these in
only
my life.
show up when they're summoned to this plane.
Oh,
And
they're terrifying looking.
they desire nothing but to watch shit burn to the ground. And the ones here are not quite contained, but they've run with Ronon and Lomey. And when they run up and they see Brother Kai working on the front half, they sort of run over and they're like, oh, and they're like poking around the fountain, and you're seeing these little clawed hands digging into the stone and melting it down. And one of them is like, hey, look, that's what you look like. And he puts his face close to the water, and the other one just shoves his head in. Basically like a bunch of like 6-year-old boys left unsupervised that are just on fire all the time.
Nice.
But as they are running around, they're very interested in this fountain and looking around and seeing all this stuff, and they see the Devastators behind, and they're like, hey, you want to go see if we can light those on fire? You want to? I'll bet you can't do it. I bet you can't light that guy's, melt his leg. I bet you can't melt his leg. As they're having this conversation back and forth, they're like, no, Master said we shouldn't burn anything that looks important. Well, do they look important? There's like 8 of them. We could break a couple, right? They've got plenty. Just leave one of them intact. We don't have to break them all. And there's this ongoing, very terse conversation. They have not looked up at you, Thalia. Ronan, you're headed over to the fountain.
I go fountain.
What y'all want to do?
Well, I have no ways to help put out a fire unless you want me to cast Earthquake on the building.
I doubt that would be helpful, but you could ask Brother Kai.
Brother Kai, do you want me to cast Earthquake on the building?
How big of an earthquake?
I think it's like a 500-foot radius.
That's a little
if
too
I
big.
were to guess. Oh,
That would take out houses, and at this point, there's not a lot we can. Hey, what are you kids doing out here? And all the magmans just kind of, oh shit, and just run back into the fires. He's like, what are you doing here? Who brought you here? I sure as shit didn't bring you. Get back in there. They're like, sorry. They leap back into the fire. Oh no, that's gonna be a problem for later. No, it's fine.
Lomey punched a guy.
When?
Earlier, you punched him right over. Then you punched another guy. You should have seen it. It was amazing.
I'm sure it was.
Sorry about your building.
It was just an office. There was only, thousands of years of history in it.
No big deal then, right?
No biggie.
And also cool magical artifacts that you keep locked in the basement. Which now there's no building protecting, so now theoretically anyone could walk up and steal all of the magical artifacts that are now in a pile of rubble.
If my instructions were followed, most of them should have been taken care of.
Sounds ominous.
Does.
Shifted away to safer places that aren't on fire.
That you know of.
You raise an excellent point. Can any of you contact Atronics and see if there's been any other attacks, or if this was just an isolated incident? I am unfortunately out of gas at the moment.
No, you're probably right. We don't need to call him, honestly.
I can message him. Where did that spell? There's that spell. There's sending.
He can't just use your sending stones anymore. He doesn't have one.
When do we have sending stone? Oh.
Command, this is Delta. Do you read?
No, I don't.
Atronics? Arrived in Kondo. Brotherhood burned by a mob. Kai safe. Looking for status update on other branches.
Lomey says no need to show up.
Well, that's unfortunate. Glad Kai is well. Korumvor branch is safe, but we'll check elsewhere. Glad you're okay. Glad you all are okay.
How's it know we're all
I'll let Kai know. Atronics says they are safe. We'll check with the other branches.
That would be most unfortunate, depending on which ones were attacked.
the fish people?
They burned down the water.
They burned down the water one to get to the fish.
And I think that's a good spot to take our break, as you are all watching the remains of this building burn.
The fish people! Camera zooms out.
cut to commercial. Oh no! Tight zoom on the face. Yeah, we'll take a break. 10, 15, what are we feeling? How long do we think we need to be?
I'm okay with it.
I don't care.
Let's take a 10. That was less combat than I anticipated. We could jump right back into the thick of it.
I had to punch a guy.
You did, twice. Two people.
2 people.
No, 4. Anyway, that's a 10-minute break, ladies and germs. So we'll be back in, just about 10 minutes. Just don't go too far away. I've got to vamp while I find the cutaway button because
It's that one. It's that one.
Nope,
Right
nope,
there.
there it is.
Right there.
Oh,
Right
you
there.
found
Get it.
Oh my God,
Get
you
it.
found it. I'm so happy.
Mammals have fleas, where like chickens or birds normally have lice. I don't know. Can a cat have lice?
Lice only happens in the hair, as opposed to fleas, which happen on fur. Anyway, one day, Chris. Here's the thing, Chris. We're gonna run I'm gonna find you a cat girl game, and you're gonna have to run it because you have done this to me.
I know one.
No. I need. Don't give him that.
I know one where you can be a cat girl.
No, all cats, all the time.
All cat
Honestly,
people?
honestly,
Xilus has it.
that's a misspent youth game if I've ever heard of one. Like everyone's just a cat. But anyway, hello and welcome back, Internet.
Meow.
When last we left off,
Right, meow.
y'all were watching the Brotherhood building finish burning to the ground. As the Devastators are standing behind you all, still sort of standing and watching the embers burn down. They have not left, unlike the rest of your, unlike everyone else who is here, they have not abandoned you yet. As you're watching this burn, Brother Kai is kind of leaning up against the fountain watching.
Are there any other Brotherhood members here or just him?
You're seeing sort of around the sides and back, trundling through. You do see a couple of other members, either very old or very young. Either older senior members and some of the professors and teachers, and the other ones are mostly just like the youngest acolytes who didn't have enough magical juice to get themselves out and were waiting on somebody else, or stayed behind to run because they were quicker. No one appears to be very heavily injured. There are a few folks coughing into like handkerchiefs and things that they've tied over their faces to avoid the smoke inhalation. A couple of them have some small bundles of books. You do see Harri, the gentleman that Lomey dumped some healing into after he caught a back blast to the face. You do see Harri kind of coughing his way, sort of wrapping his arms around his chest, being brought over by another pair of Brotherhood members. And over time, as the sun is starting to rise behind you to the east, you are starting to see the remains of this building, and your gathering of the four of you slowly expands to about 20 to 25. As you all have just kind of watched and waited for this building to finally give up its last ghost.
So welcome to Condo.
It's not that great here, Lomey.
It's been a while since I've been here. No, this was great. This was fun. Good, all nice.
It's not normally this warm. That's a little unseasonal.
Also probably true. But like riots, get used to those. They happen sometimes. Mostly on Tuesdays.
You know, I'm just having an epiphany. That's a big word.
That is a big one for you.
I've lost my train of thought. I was so impressed by
much
my
more
words
like
that now
you.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Honestly, it happens to everybody. Especially when you know some really big words.
Like condo.
Yes, that's definitely a word. Well,
You got any marshmallows?
So who was that guy? You knew who he was. What's his deal? Why is he bothering you?
Yeah, why is he mad? What's he want to be mad about?
I mean,
Well, we know what he wants to be mad about, but we know what he's lying about being mad about, but I don't know why he's lying about it.
what was he lying about? I was busy trying to not have my home office burn.
The mean man in charge. He's like, oh, he's dead. The librarians killed him. Oh, what was us? He's alive. He's fine. It wasn't the librarians.
Yeah, he said the Raj is dead, and then he put this thing up that moved. You ever see one of those before? I never have.
What was the? What did it look like? This moving thing that he had.
It looked like the Raj dying.
I pass it down to him.
Oh,
'Cause I don't think the crier ever took it
no,
back.
he didn't. He sure fucking didn't.
I would have given
I
it
collect
back. He
my
just
bucket.
You collect it from where it is. It is currently sitting in the fountain, just on its side with no water in the bottom, as you guys have drained this fountain completely dry. And
I read the side of it, and there's a little inscription that just says "Blaze" with a smiley face.
you pass down the orb to Brother Kai. He goes, oh, where did you get this?
But from the guy.
Where are they always like this?
Sorry, that one really caught me off guard.
Thalia, are they always like this?
It's just as I'm
Take that as a
continuing.
yes. This, and he holds it up and kind of pops it on one finger and spins it like a very small crystal basketball. This is an engram crystal. He pops it and catches it.
What engram is this, Guardian? Zavala pops out of the fire.
This is a memory captured, contained, as it was seen. And he kind of holds it up to the sun and looks through it. According to this, the Raj is dead. But you mean to tell me that he's alive?
Incapacitated last we saw him, but alive.
Here's the problem with this, unfortunately. These are impossible to modify. Once they are recorded, they cannot be changed. And everyone knows that. So
I did not know that.
every Brotherhood member knows this. So, what this is telling me and what you are telling me are two very different things. I'm inclined to believe all of you because you did not burn my building down. But the layperson, the rabble that was gathered around the building, they will believe this as gospel, some might say. As good as a decree from the Raj himself or any of the deities that decide to walk upon the earth. Now we have this, which appears to be a fortuitous oversight on the Crier's fault. So that leaves us with a few options. But this is not why you're here. Atronix mentioned that you would be going on an expedition and heading out to the desert, and I was to have supplies for you, which conveniently you found. Thank you for getting those out, as they were low on my list of priorities at the time.
Ronan opens the bags and looks in them.
Inside, as requested, is a small, aside with all of your regular supplies, a small clay jug.
Do we all have the same supplies?
Ronan has a very, very specific clay jug.
Okay.
That says, caution. Only open if you're serious about it. Contains alchemist fire.
Nice. You could have helped.
Remind me if anybody had specifics that they needed in their bags.
I asked for either like an alchemy jug or a thing of endless water.
You do,
just
yes,
so we
there's
don't-
also an alchemy jug in there. It looks very similar to the alchemist fire jug.
Perfect. I won't confuse those two at all.
That's why they are clearly labeled. But yes, you do have a small alchemist jug of water. That will be able to keep you guys hydrated, so your risk of dying in the desert is significantly less. I don't believe anybody else asked for anything specific.
Nope.
I keep forgetting to keep a list. I
As
don't
for
think
just
I have
like
anything
rope.
that crazy specific.
Yeah, just general traveling supplies. If you go, hey, do I have this thing? If it's something that you would give an adventurer before they go on a trip, I'll probably give it to you, because DM hot take, carry weight is stupid until you're Chris and carrying literally everything on your back. But as far as
I'm
like
only
general
carrying
supplies,
72.5 pounds.
yeah, you're also gonna
Everybody gets a Vorpal longsword in their adventuring pack, right?
Okay. Yeah, it's like a
That's
kid.
standard
It's like a
gear.
toy and a Happy Meal.
That just comes at level 1.
Okay, you can just everybody gets one, you know. So yeah, and Thalia, I know you were asking about diamonds were on your shopping list, I believe. I'll give you
Which I believe I was getting from the treasury.
yes. So yeah, yeah, that's from just like your personal stash of the treasury. So grab as many. I'm gonna say grab as many as you need, which is dangerous, but you guys do literally have a king's ransom at your disposal. So yeah, you've got your personal stash of diamonds. So
Yeah, and we got traveling clothes, right? Like warm
yeah.
weather
So
clothes.
y'all will blend in as well as you can for being half angel, a very bright dragon, and a Goliath. You know, in this part of the world, you'll blend in as best you can. But yeah, you've all cracked open your supplies, kind of rummaged through everything. Everything looks good. As you're rummaging through the supplies, you see Brother Kai kind of walk over to Harri, put an arm around his shoulder, and kind of pull him aside. There's a whispered conversation between the two of them. And you notice that the other Brotherhood members kind of, in moving around, they kind of screen between Brother Kai and Harri and sort of keep making sure that faces are blocked and there's enough extra noise that they can have this conversation somewhat in private, because the Devastators, again, are still right there. They have not moved. They have not said anything. They're just statues. But yeah, all y'all supplies are there.
So how perceptive do you think these robots are?
Are they listening to us?
Roll me a stealth check, Lomey. To say how quietly are you going to whisper that?
4.
The one closest to you, you're noticing as the sun comes up, these do not have like regular humanoid shaped heads. These are very squat, almost like a mushroom head, but you can see there are two dark spots where the eyes should be, and then just kind of. Are you well, citizen? Is something the matter?
Thumbs up. Everything's fine. How are you?
We are happy to serve as needed.
Okay, thank you.
Where are the normal guards?
Define normal, please.
Like, not constructs.
The other guards were dealing with another crisis.
What other crisis?
The guard barracks on the Kondoan, on the Raj's property, was demolished shortly before this fire began. This unit was mobilized to break up the unlawful gathering and to see that no other property was damaged.
Cool. Thanks.
Of course. Any other questions, citizens?
What's your name?
I don't understand your question.
What's your name? Like the thing that people call you.
I have none.
Well, there's 2 people that we've met with no name.
Pretty weird for a Tuesday. Wait, I have a question. Can we talk to the Raj? Please.
Unfortunately, the Raj is no longer in power due to his untimely demise.
Ooh. All right, well, that complicates things. Even the weird robots know.
He's not dead, though.
With the
Robot
weird
man,
robot.
he's not dead. Who told you he was dead?
You were going to confuse the robots.
I was informed by I was informed.
He got into the robots. That's why he just walked past them.
Who?
The Crier guy, the guy that set the building on fire. He was like, "Oh, we are but a lonely bucket brigade here to fix the fire," and then they will burn the building down and walk past you.
I have no record of this individual.
Do you remember him walking past you and leaving?
I remember
Had like a mohawk?
386 individuals fleeing the premises.
Do you remember one with a mohawk?
No. No individual matching this identity is recorded. Will that be all, everyone?
Who is in charge of you? Who takes care of you, fixes your bits, tells you the things to do? Who's in charge now if the Raj is not?
You will have to take that up with the High Vizier. As his successor and right hand, in the absence of the Raj, the Vizier will be in charge.
Can we talk to him?
He was at the party, Lomey.
Right.
He's the one that dropped the thing and made Thalia drunk.
Oh, balls.
I like how Rachel's just furiously writing things down.
Oh boy, the
like
DM's off his rocker again. We gotta keep him on it.
I just imagine Thalia is still sitting on the fountain, staring at the burnt building, just writing and just not even looking at what she's writing down, but it's just perfect nonetheless. So, can we talk to the High Vizier?
I do not.
That
have
was
the
my
authority
question.
To grant that conversation.
Who would have the authority to grant that question?
Captain Vortez.
Can we talk to Captain Vortez?
I do not have authorization to schedule that meeting.
Who
does have authority to schedule that meeting? We say in
Brother Kai comes over and he's like, listen.
We're going down the chain of command, boys.
Who can I talk to? You're like the old people that press 0 every time they're in like a digital call queue and they're like giving a person. Brother Kai comes over and you watch as Harri, as he walks away. Thalia, what's your passive perception?
Like 1 billion. Literally 1 billion.
21.
21. You do notice as Brother Kai comes back, your friend Harri skirting around and hopping a fence. But you notice as he goes to hop the fence, he kind of uses one hand and pulls himself up very easily. But you notice that he's like tucked something and he's holding something up against his chest as he goes over. and then jumps down over the fence and then just disappears between some buildings. Brother Kai comes over and goes, yes, thank you, friendly gentlemen, for your service in dissolving that unlawful gathering. Your service is appreciated. In unison, all 8 heads snap to Brother Kai. Will that be all, sir? Yes, that will be all. Walk in balance. Go. In balance we shall walk. And together turn and reform into 2 lines of 4 and trundle their way back.
We didn't get a meeting with the guy that can give us a meeting with the other guy that can give us a meeting with the other guy to get us a meeting with the High Vizier.
All right, but hear me out. We delay trundling off into the desert and maybe try and go see who's at the Raj's house.
So,
Perfect plan, I know. Surely getting in will be simple.
so the robot man, the guy, the Crier, has access to the robots, or the robots can't see him, because they were told
Or he's a robot.
that, or he's a robot. Either way, he's in control of them halfway, because they were informed that the Raj is dead, and he's not. And that the High Vizier guy is now in power, but the High Vizier guy is the guy that was at the party and dropped the smoky stuff that made everybody weird. And then he disappeared, but the Raj was still there. The Raj was alive, but he was gone. And now apparently he's in power.
But he's not here.
So he overthrew the Raj,
He is here.
the Vizier, overthrew the Raj with the help
Right.
of a robot cat. And now the Crier has control over these robots and seems to be in league with the High Vizier because he told them that he's now in power. And robots is the connecting link. So we thought that they were in league with Red, but maybe they're in league with the Crier. Which leads me to the question, is the Raj actually a mean, nasty tyrant man, or was it this High Vizier puppeting the Raj this whole time?
No, the Raj is a real shit stain.
On a scale
is
of
the
1 to
vernacular.
east off, what should happen?
Well, that's the tricky part, you see.
If you're
Can I not just challenge this ruler to a duel to the death and just
That
win
is not
the
how
freedom of
things
the
work
people?
here, Ronan.
No, it is not.
Oh. That's really a much simpler system where I'm from. People should
appreciate-
really adopt that.
No, it's quite simple here, honestly. The question is always, how much money do you have?
I have a decent bit of money, so therefore
The
I am
answer
the
is
ruler.
not enough the whole time.
It's very much not enough. This city was founded when many nomadic bands decided to settle into a certain place, and coin and muscle carried most of your weight in leadership. If the Raj is dead,
Which is not.
if he were, assume that he's dead, as everyone else here is going to, the Vizier will take power until there can be not quite an election. It's not nearly that democratic. It used to be more of a festival, but now it is more of a
Fight to the death.
no. That was more of the festival days.
Wait, Lomey, is that how you died? You challenged the leader for power
No,
in the festival?
I kind of got lost.
Oh, wait. How long were you
What?
dead?
No one's ever honestly told me.
Right. I'm not a fan of that unanswered question.
We're
I
working
wasn't
on it.
exactly paying attention enough to notice. Sorry. Because I was dead.
He doesn't keep a calendar.
The
It is
Devastator
Tuesday,
did
though.
mention Captain Fortes as a possible way in to speak with the Vizier. Assuming that she is alive, she may also be able to give you access to the house. However, we would not be the only ones trying to gain entry. And while I appreciate you making your presence known here to stave off that mob, that has also made a subtle approach less likely.
Oh, come on. I showed up in disguise. No one even recognized me.
What if we just show up at the palace and say hi,
We'd like to talk about
Bruno?
your extended palace warranty.
Ooh, that's a good one. Warranties and insurance. That'll get people talking. Have I ever told you about cart insurance, Kai? Great plan. Do they have that here in Condo?
If I had a cart, I would own it, but I don't have a cart, nor do I have a house. Can we please focus on why you are here?
Yes.
If you want to go knock, you may. If you want to get out of town while this blows over, you also can. I understand you were sent here with a very particular artifact.
Yeah, this one. And I don't like carrying it. It makes me look scary.
I thought I was carrying it, to be fair, because I
showed
have
it
on my
off earlier.
character sheet.
Yeah, but I picked it. I was showing it off, so I still have the stupid thing.
May I? He holds out his hand.
Yeah? Here you go.
And he reaches out.
Don't do anything
grabs
weird
it.
with it.
And you watch as his, kind of frazzled, little burnt and singed hair just kind of starts to rise up in this crackle of static. And he goes, oh boy, where did you find this?
Well, a guy had it.
Right.
Yep, he's dead.
Do me a favor. Try to take this from me.
I try and take it from him.
Roll me a strength check, please.
Strength check. 24.
24. It is hard to pull it from his grasp. But it's not like his hand is contracted from the static. You watch as his grip is shifting, and he puts second hand on it, almost without thinking about it. He's pulling. And as you finally yank it out of his hands, his hair just kind of... And he goes,
Do you want this that badly?
No, I do not want to ever touch that again. Leave that to you.
Oh, boy. And Ronon, he can touch it. He likes to touch it.
Did it talk to any of you?
Yeah.
What did it say?
Thalia, do you want to go first?
I gotta find it in my notes. Where is it? Nope, not there. I think it said something about too angelic, too nice or something. Oh yeah. No, too nice, too angelic. End quote.
Did I say anything to anyone else?
You know what? It actually didn't say anything to me now that I'm thinking about it.
I thought you said it. Oh, it was Blaze.
It was Blaze.
No,
I
it
dare you
talked
play
about
two
your
different
anger.
characters.
It talked about your anger.
It talked about my anger to someone else. I think to you.
I thought I was talking to you about your anger and do you want to become angrier? Or
Maybe.
asked
Yeah,
about
something
your anger.
about the
How you use it.
anger's right.
How you used it and
So it talked to lots of people, and we're bad at everything, is what I'm understanding.
Did it show you anything?
Just stare at Lomey.
It showed me some things, yes.
And he kind of walks up and puts his hands on either side of your snout and looks at you. What did it show you? What did it show you?
It showed me where it wanted to go to, I believe.
The dragon skull.
A cave. How do you know what I saw? Now that's
showed
weird.
Me the same thing.
Oh, well, you should take it there then.
No. Because it showed me what it would give me.
What does it give you? What does it give you? Is it cool?
He points up to the palace. It showed me that. Flattened and burned. The same way this is.
Well, we've quest complete?
No, that is an offering.
Oh.
That is a gift of what would happen if I put that there. And I do not want that.
See, I don't remember seeing any gift things. That's,
That is not the gift I would like. But
that you ask it for a different one, then maybe.
Something with power like that, it doesn't listen when you ask. It just
So do you think we shouldn't take it there because then, like, the world might end or something, or...
The Raj's palace was destroyed by my own hand. I watched me do it with that axe.
Oh.
You don't seem
Because
like an axe kind of person.
Right? I would say the same. But in this moment, I want nothing more than to see whoever did this to suffer the same fate that I'm feeling.
I mean,
And
I
that
can go
axe-
cast Earthquake on the palace if you want.
That would not be by my hand. This thing saw what I wanted and said it would give me that. That is not usual. So I will kindly never touch that again.
So do you think we should not take it to the cave with the skull in the place?
That is your choice to make.
No,
If it
don't
hasn't-
give us that.
We're very bad at choices.
It's odd that it didn't show you anything.
Maybe it's because he doesn't want anything. Lomey, what do you want? Besides a new backpack, which you've already gotten.
A beer, please. Instinctively reach out my hand and nothing happens.
A cold metal tankard. No, Robbie is not here. You reach out your hand out to the side, kind of on instinct. Nothing happens.
I reach into my bag of holding and think about beer. Pull anything out of it.
No.
A knife.
Okay.
So, like, take it to
wants
the
go
cave,
home.
throw it in the ocean, throw it in a volcano.
It wants to go home. You could bury it in the desert on the way if you change your mind.
Someone will find it. That's how deserts work.
So, your choice is, do you want the devastatingly intelligent and powerful artifact? Or not?
Well, I've already got a sword. I don't really need an axe, personally.
Well, I don't have.
Show him
anywhere
your
to keep it
sword.
right now.
I pull out my sword. broken.
Just the hilt?
Just the broken.
Make it do the thing.
Well, you got to show them the broken part first, Ronon. It's all about the build-up, the anticipation.
Oh, yes, the show.
And then I do the thing.
Distinctly non-copyright lightsaber noises emanate from the hilt of the blade as you activate your longsword. And Kai goes,
Ta-da!
"You need to put that axe back."
Like where I found it and keep this one? Or,
You need to take that axe to the skull. Because this sword and that's a very similar energy. Very similar source of power.
You know, we haven't really tried what happens if you touch them together.
I think Lomey's holding the axe still.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to touch them together?
I don't know if we should touch them together.
Do it. What's the worst that could happen? Burn the building down?
Oh, don't say. Point of
I look over. I look.
Way to bully him for his recent traumas.
I look over to Thalia with like a questioning look and just kind of shrug.
She just rolls her eyes.
As good as permission as we're gonna get, and I touch them together.
Okay. Across the blades, the bluish white shimmering of the axe and that crystal incandescent blue, and they cross. I need a Constitution saving throw from you, Lomey.
Bugger.
Don't forget your plus nothing from standing within 5 feet of me.
Thank you.
So helpful, so friendly.
22.
22. So you cross these, and there is that magical current that's running into your blade and back into your arm flows into the axe and completes a circuit. And you feel this humming. As it starts to amp up, and that dark blue patch of scales in the center of your chest begins to heat. It starts to spread. You feel this heat sort of trickling out into the rest of your body. Do you want to keep holding?
Is this like what happens when you plug
We're
two
gonna let the
9
dice
volt
decide.
batteries together?
Then it's 18 volts. Except not really. I'm gonna keep holding it. The dice picked.
Okay. Another Constitution saving throw, please.
Keep picking good dice. Ooh, 22 again.
Okay. All of you start to see wisps of smoke start to come from where the sword and the axe are touching each other, and you are all feeling that same kind of starting to rapidly pulse. Lomey, you're going to take 4 points of lightning damage as this electricity is arcing through you, and you start to feel again this arcing kind of across your chest, and your shirt starts to burn away.
You've got this shirt.
You're starting to see scorch marks and cinders and embers start to burn through your shirt. And through your shirt, you're starting to see that blue light, that blue patch of scales is starting to spread. Not like you're being painted, but like there are fingers of lightning scratching through these jagged fingers of blue lancing in and around your scale work. Do you want to keep holding?
We're gonna let the dice decide again, because I can't ever make up my mind. Yes.
Okay, another Constitution saving throw, please.
What could go wrong? Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
They're getting lower.
They are getting lower. You, my friend, are going to take 14 lightning damage.
Awesome.
as the energy continues to build and build and build. And all of you looking up, you hear the rumble of thunder as clouds are beginning to swirl overhead. Dark, heavy storm clouds. And there was not a single cloud of sky other than there was not a single cloud in the sky other than the smoke from the burnt building.
Look
And even
over
now
at
that is
Kaingo.
being...
Go on.
That smoke is being whipped up into this maelstrom overhead.
Look over at Kai and go, man, it sure would have been nice if this rain happened a couple hours ago.
There is no rain. As you're
it's
watching
gonna
this continue
storm.
to spin.
That was the joke. It was storming.
Yes. I just for clarity, because I wanted to make sure we covered all our bases. Lomey, do you want to keep holding?
No, because if I will die.
You won't die. You just got to roll high on your con save, buddy.
Well, but given the scale of the damage from the first time to this time, one more time is not going to be... Oh, fuck it. One more time. Let's go.
Okay. Constitution saving throw, my boy.
24. We've gone back up.
Okay.
Plus 10 is a helpful plus 10.
You will take 2 lightning damage.
Oh. Painless.
And again, you see, Lomey, your sword starts to sink into the blade of the axe. And not melting, not like punching through it, but almost fusing into it.
Oh, God, they've welded together. Now they're both useless.
And now you're seeing your hands, you're seeing your chest is continue to be run through with blue, and it's running down your arms. And all of you can see it's working its way up his face and down his snoot. These just runs of blue, crystal blue, zipping through your body and your face. And there is a flash of lightning straight down onto Lomey.
Oh, I'm dead.
I need everybody else to make a dexterity save.
Can I see it and or hear it?
I'll give you advantage because of the cloud. It's not subtle.
9.
Wait, they're +4 from Lomey?
Yes.
13.
Yay, there we go.
26.
Okay.
Hope everybody wore their insulated boots.
Thank goodness Harri left.
Somewhere, there's a second bolt of lightning about a quarter mile away. Bang! Dead Harri.
I sense
He'll
the
be
need
back.
to heal somebody.
I gotta go back. No. Whatever. We had a 13. We had a. What'd you get, Ronon?
26.
Great. Just gonna. Oh, that's a lot of 6s.
It's just Martis creeping in the shadows somewhere, and he's like, this looks like the same guy that cut off my friend's head. He's definitely dressed the same.
Bang! Everybody takes 18 lightning damage.
Even me?
No. Lomey, you're
Okay,
fine.
good.
In fact,
Oh.
you're fully healed.
What?
And as the flash of light clears from your eyes, and you're looking down, you have the axe in one hand, the hilt in the other, the static kind of arcing through you. Kind of, okay, feels kind of flexing your muscles a little bit, kind of getting used to things. And all of you kind of look up and clear your eyes from the flash, and there's the middle in this perfectly round crater around Lomey, or where Lomey used to be, is a bright blue dragonborn.
I'm blue?
Lomey, if you want to change your race to blue dragonborn,
I'm blue. Now you at least remember.
I'm tired of this 50-50 bullshit. You're blue now. We're done with it. That's how I solve my problems. And Lomey, there is now
Bugger.
in the back of your head where there
My
was
art, no.
gentle that gentle pulsing where your power once was. That is now entirely all through your mind. But there's a gentle tug, like a compass, nudging you off north by northeast, where you know there's a particular mountain, where you know there's a place you're trying to go, where the weapon in both of your hands is calling to go home.
I sense I've done something bad.
To all the
Why
rest
are
of
you all
you,
looking at me funny?
Is that... Can Dragonborn do that?
Do what?
You're blue.
Oh my god, I'm blue.
At least you're not green.
That is an ugly color.
I'm afraid I don't know what we're talking about. Does he always... I've never heard of a dragon changing color.
Try and brush it off.
It is baked into you. It is attached. Well,
I think I know where these want to go.
Where?
That way. In the mountains.
How do you know there are mountains over there?
I've been there before. There's mountains.
Is that where you died?
No.
Oh.
But yep, this is getting weird. Do you want to hold the axe again?
Sure. Maybe you'll turn unblue.
Deal, take it.
Ronon, I need a Constitution saving throw.
But he told me I could do it.
Are you gonna be blue?
I turned into a blue dragonborn. Oh, not good. Constitution saving throw. Do we get a +4?
You're within 10 feet of Lomey.
Bring next to Lomey. That's a 9 + 14. 23.
Why you gotta wait at me like this? I was like, oh, I get to roll the big die. Incorrect. It's about what Lomey did. Okay.
I do that to Josh when he makes my ancient white dragon roll a saving throw. I'm like, that's a 2 + 27.
Yeah, no, he's going to pass with the wolf flying colors. So you're going to take 4 lightning. And I need a strength check to hold on to this axe.
Cacked. Oh, strength check?
Yes, please.
Do I get +4 on strength checks? Or is it only saving
That's
throws?
only saves.
14.
14. You hold onto the axe and it zaps and your hand kind of flexes open a little bit. It flies back to Lomey. Then Lomey just right back into your hand.
Well, that's bad.
Ooh, throw it. Throw it.
I throw it.
Like, are you throwing it at an object or just like chucking it off into the...
I'm going to go for behind me for full cinematic. I don't know what's around me.
To a devastator. Oh, wait, no, they left.
No, they've left. Roll me a strength check, please.
18.
18. Yeah, you just kind of quick, just chuck it over your shoulder. You're not throwing it to hit anything. You're just trying to get rid of it. And as you throw it, your hand is still back behind you, and you feel this was like, and it slaps back into your hand.
How far did it go?
With an 18, what's your strength? 20.
Yeah.
It covered a good it's a two-handed axe. It covered like 8 to 10 feet before it snapped back. It never touched the ground.
So you now have a great weapon with a distance of 10 feet. Interesting.
I guess I'm gonna carry this for a while.
Mine.
Who? What?
You are one of mine. Take me home.
Who are you?
Take me home and you'll see. Put me back in my own head.
Can you give me a name first? You know, just first name basis. If I'm gonna take you home, I'd like to know at least your name.
And the voice shifts. I've known you since you died in those woods.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But it's nice of you to ask for a name after all this time. You can call me Yeva.
Okay, Yeva. So, why are we going there?
To give you your final reward for your service, O knight of mine.
Weird, but okay. Not really sure what else to do about that.
You have plenty of choices, but they will eventually lead to me.
Can I put this axe down, though? I don't want to hold it forever. It's just not my style.
I don't think you understand.
No.
And from that storm cloud, there's another crackle of thunder that all of you hear. And all of you hear a voice from the clouds. I chose you for a purpose. You have served me well, and it is time for you to receive your reward. My choice is not one you can refuse. So take the axe home.
I'll take it home. I just don't want to carry it the whole way there. Jesus.
The thundercloud dissipates into the morning sky, and you're starting to see people have been awoken by this noise.
They weren't awoken by the...
It's
by
been
the
long.
building
The fire had died down. This is now.
yes.
So they woke up twice. Now they're really having a bad night.
They're having a rough. The sun is up. The sun is up in the morning.
Why are they asleep?
Because there was a fire the night before. It's exhausting.
Right.
Shop folks are opening up shop doors and windows and just trying to see what the hell is going on. And there is this little gaggle in the courtyard and a bright blue dragonborn with no shirt and a pair of weapons.
Just bought that shirt.
You know, I'm starting to get the feeling that maybe we shouldn't take the axe back to where the omnipresent voice from the sky demanded that we take it.
You know, I really don't think we have a choice at this point, buddy.
Oh.
I'm going to be pretty honest there. Look, the voice in the sky, it has lightning, and it does not feel great. Unless you're holding things. Feels awesome then.
Right. So in an effort to not anger the omnipotent voice of the lightning, I take it you're going to go do that first.
Yeah, see, we got to do that first. Yep.
I will.
Can you turn regular bags into bags of holding that hold lots of things?
I know a guy.
Can you know a guy in the next 5 minutes?
No.
Oh.
He's a late sleeper. He won't be up for another 6 hours.
Really just trying to not hold this axe the whole way there. Just, no, not for me.
What if you put it in my bag?
I
Hold up
don't
my bag.
know what would happen.
Do you want to try?
What if you put your bag in my bag?
Please don't.
And then I put it in your bag.
But your bag is just a regular bag.
It's not my style, dude.
Can I just go on your back?
As I told the man who had this axe before, mine's cooler.
Get in the cooler.
Just let me try something. What would you rather this look like?
I as he says that, I hold the axe out to him. See if he's gonna take it again.
Ooh, make it look like a shield.
He reaches out to touch the axe. Touches it and he wraps his hand around it again. And this time there is an audible and he is flung back probably 20 feet, just ass over tea kettle, tumbling in his robes. And he's like, stands up, hair disjointed, his robe is singed up to the elbow, and he goes, I'm not touching that. You're just gonna have to take it.
I put it in my backpack in the awkward way that it will not fit.
When you go to like sling it into your backpack and sling it up over your back, you feel it just like pressing closer and closer to you until it presses directly, like right up against the backpack, up against your spine. It sits there.
Uncomfortable, but better.
It forces you, as you're walking, to walk more upright than you normally do. You've only got a little bit of a hunch to it, and now you're standing taller and prouder.
I got spinal surgery.
With an axe. Brother kind of, again, brushes himself off. The other brother's helping me. He goes, while you're off adventuring with your definitely homicidal sentient weapon,
I'm sure it's fine.
I will chat with Captain Vortez and arrange a meeting with the Vizier. He's busy with heads of state matters right now, as the Raj is allegedly dead. And I will send this off to other Brotherhood members to see how they can crack this memory engram that's been encased in here. Is there anything I can do for you while I'm here?
Yes. It has been a long day. I would like a nice place to sleep with a tub, please. By God, if I have to take a bath with the axe, it's coming with me.
Well, I happen to have the key to a small cafe that the owner may have some supplies that they are no longer using, unfortunately.
Oh. Are they on vacation or something?
And looks back to the bloodstain on the front steps. Or something.
Ooh. Okay. I picked up on that one. Yep.
Miss Thalia, anything?
Do you know someone named Red? Someone who's very preferential towards crimson, metallic vibes?
There is a member of the Raj's court. His name is Asen. He does have a tendency to wear more vibrant crimson colors. Why?
One of the reasons we also came here is a way of this figure has a way of not necessarily interfering, but being involved in things
Very involved. We've killed them
twice.
2 times.
Mechanical bodies. So I don't believe he's dead. They.
That's a fair
them.
assessment.
So, and the crier said that we have a common enemy who prefers crimson.
Now that is interesting. Because if I recall correctly, that particular crier seemed to enjoy crimson himself.
That's what I said.
Correct.
Some kind of irony.
I can probably talk further with him. At this point, I can probably message him at any point, as long as I have the spell slots for it. There's definitely more dimension to the crier than he lets on.
Yes. And I'm very interested in who he was, because I have no memory of who he was.
The robots didn't know who he was either.
And yet he was concerned about erasing memory. Losing memory.
I don't know if he has just removed himself from the records or if he's actually that.
And he also had bits of metal implanted in his flesh everywhere.
That is unfortunately becoming slightly more common. Both as
Elaborate?
piercings and other decorative items, but some upstart young artificers and mages have taken to pursuing, what do they call it? Blessed perfection. Combining
Doesn't sound like a problem at all.
minor works of artificing with the human body in a way that allows even non-magical users to cast simple spells. Not nearly as powerful, not nearly as often. Even something very simple, like, and he kind of just snaps his fingers and kicks off a firebolt and hits there's a large stone off to one side where a piece of debris had fallen, and he just blasts it with a firebolt. He goes, even something like that you and I and others can do with no effort has limitations. before they run out of energy. They will recharge like many other items, but others are finding ways to modify themselves for personal or other such gains. It is currently frowned upon, not illegal per se, but frowned upon in most circles to have taken these kinds of changes. But it is especially popular among the younger folks.
Keep an eye out for that faction. If you would.
Of course. Mostly keeping an eye on the Crier as best we can. His people tend to be drawn to him. It's less of a faction and more wherever he is becomes a firestorm.
It appears the people have spoken.
And when they speak with
Or rather, a people have spoken.
people speaking with one voice can be the thing that topples empires. And if they believe what this Crier is saying, then this may be the beginning of a new one. Thank you, by the way, all of you. This could have gone
No problem.
much worse if you had not been here. I do not have anything of value to give at the moment, aside from my personal thanks and a promise that if you need anything outside of my capacities in the Brotherhood, from me personally, just ask.
I mean, yeah, will do.
Stay safe.
You do the same. Now, come on. I need to get you all squared away. And he walks, leading the three of you across the street to a small cafe with boarded up windows. Meals still scattered around, partially eaten. A few trays of food knocked to the floor. Some larger vermin has gone in and had a field day on the meals that were prepared. But in the back, upstairs, there's a small, just one bedroom with a couch and a small standing wash basin for Lomey to take a bath in.
Small stand. That is not what I requested.
This is what we have that's available.
I requested a vat.
If you would like to go to the public bathhouses, I'm sure that would not cause a shock to anyone.
Been there before.
The alchemy jug, and I kind of shake it. I'm like, how does this work?
Pop the top. Pour it. You'll get 8 gallons per day.
I start pouring it on Lomey.
Okay.
Thank you, Ronon.
Only
Very-
like half of it, though.
Very wet Lomey. But you notice as the droplets are starting to sort of spatter and spread, you are seeing arcs, little sparks kicking off, jumping from droplet to droplet. You're a sparky boy.
Also
Lomey.
rude. Look, if that prevents me from having a bath, we're going to have a problem here.
You can have a bath. A public bath is going to be a much larger issue.
You're like an electric eel now.
Yeah, get in. It's fine, I promise.
Listen, this is the only way I can keep you from ever. This is an extra motivation to keep you from going on boats. But yeah, anything Thalia or Ronon want to do as y'all settle in for probably a long rest. It's been a day.
I need a long rest.
If we're resting, I would like the rest. Dome if we're
Okay.
resting.
Inside your a safe house inside your safe house.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you.
Okay.
See, Thalia, I don't call all of your bosses dick wizards, just the one that was a dick when I met him, and he was also a wizard.
I mean, he's not technically my boss. I mean, kind of, but like not kind of.
Kind of, but not.
He's not like my boss,
like
but he's
equals-
a boss.
He's a boss, like a boss-ass bitch.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's the first time I've met him.
Oh. I'm gonna check on Adelaide.
How Sally is casting the dome and Lomey is humming to himself. Ronan, you reach into your pouch, pull out Adelaide. She's not in the bag of holding, is she?
No.
So you go to reach her and pull her out. She kind of doesn't. You feel her like holding against the bag a little more. Does he try to pull her out?
Adelaide?
Yeah.
What you doing down there?
I'm just hanging out.
What's wrong?
It's fine. Everything, we're fine.
It's fine. Never means things are fine.
Yeah, yeah.
What's wrong?
It's, I don't like the axe thing.
You don't like the axe?
No, I don't like.
Is it
I
because it's also a sentient, inanimate object that has somehow gained sentience and communication through the mortal plane?
The axe itself isn't. It's not the axe itself that's talking. It's kind of like me. I'm just an extension of me, like the real me. I just mostly hang out here because it's cozy and my dad doesn't find me here. But no, it's.
We should fix that one of these days. Can we just bring you here? Like hang out forever? Yeah.
Forever's a really
There are
long
ghosts
time.
here.
Are you gonna be with me forever?
I mean, eventually I'll die.
That's not. Eventually, it's not forever.
That's true.
But
then you could haunt somebody that's like really rude and make their life miserable.
I'd haunt Lomey.
If I die and Lomey doesn't, I fully give you permission to haunt the fuck out of Lomey. Yes.
Ooh. Can before you die and make me haunt Lomey, can you maybe do something about the axe? Because
What would you like me to do about the axe?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like me, but instead of being from not this plane, it's on this plane. It's a thing that's here. Whatever's feeling and talking through it is kind of here on this, kind of waves around, on this plane.
So do you want us to get rid of the axe?
The axe is
Because I think the goal is to take the axe to where the axe wants to go and then leave it there.
It wants to get used, though. And that's why I'm afraid, because the last guy wanted to use it on me.
Well, Lomey won't use it on you because you're a friend.
But what if the axe makes him do it?
I don't know if it was the axe that made him want to do it, because he was already kind of a dick before that. So now I am not a geometry teacher, but I think that he misconstrued the notions of the axe into wiping out all multiple plate people, from this plane. Because as far as I know, Lomey, have you gotten any weird urges to banish this plane of interdimensional beings?
Let me check. Nope, I'm good.
Nope, see? Maybe it's because he has the sword, and this was the axe? So maybe since he has the sword, then he won't get any urges to banish the plane of interdimensional beings, even if they are from a pocket dimension.
It's maybe. I'm...
Well, I'll tell you what. If he does get the urge to banish you, I'll punch him in the face. You hear that, Lomey?
Yep, throw me off cliff, punch me in the face, the usual. Thank you.
Maybe not a cliff, but at least a firm punch in the face.
Oh, come on, go for the cliff.
I could go for the cliff.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for
You're welcome. Would you rather be in the bag of holding so you're not as close to the axe?
I know there's a lot of sharp rocks in the bag of holding. It's shiny, but it's pointy.
Okay.
I can stay in the backpack, I think.
Okay. High five.
Yeah, dude. By the way, do you guys have any cookies?
I have no cookies. I have a bag of beans. Would you like a bean?
There might be cookies in the cafe.
I go run downstairs and search the cafe for cookies.
Okay. And as Thalia, Thalia just kind of encourages Ronon to run downstairs. Thalia, you have the room to yourself. You have the dome to yourself. Is there anything you want to leave us with? As the queen of buttons, because you always make really goddamn good buttons. No, your buttons on the out are always so good.
What?
Lomey's taking a bath. Ronan's downstairs shoving cookies into Adelaide, like shoving cookies into a backpack. Are you just gonna cast the dome and crawl inside and pass out?
Fine. You want a button? I'll have to think of something snappy.
Okay.
God.
What kinds of cookies do I find? While she's thinking.
A lot of unleavened, unrisen ones.
For a person who doesn't know what cookies are, what's unleavened mean?
No. Well, there's no yeast in. There's no rising agent.
Yeah,
There's
no rising
baking
agent.
So they're like really flat
They're
cookies.
more like a cracker than anything.
They're tortillas.
Crisp.
It's a cookie tortilla.
They're not
yeah.
crisp. Biscuit.
They are like a
biscuit.
traditional British biscuit. But a decent array of flavors and things. Some of them are filled, some of them are not. But
How do you
there's
fill a
whole-
cracker?
You put two of them together like a little biscuit sandwich.
Sandwich.
Oh, like a Pop-Tart.
We're not
No,
having this
that's
fight
pastry.
on the internet. We're not having this fight on the
pastry.
internet.
Pastry?
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway.
How many pastries can I put in my backpack?
Oh no, we're expanding her baked good horizons.
We're going to get the big box, the Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, we'll give you. I'm not going to roll deep percentile for this. I almost did. I'll give you a dozen pastries of varying kinds.
A dozen pastries. Various.
I can give us a button, Rachel, if you're.
All right. I think I got something.
Okay.
Okay. It's casting the dome. Finding my dead roll. Lying down. Just looking up at the ceiling. Hearing everything. And the truth shall set us on a path.
Okay, perfect. And that's Fade Out, written by the Ashe and Jade Committee, and we roll credits. So, all right, cool. That was lovely. Thank you. Well done talking your way out of that particular scuffle, by the way. Definitely did have a lot of combat stuff ready on the standby, but we didn't need it. But now, and Lomey, congratulations, you're now a blue boy.
I'm blue, Abba Dee Da Buddha.
That is not a sapphire dragon. That is a blue dragon. None of this gem dragon shenanigans in my house. You are a blue dragon.
What?
Right.
There
nice.
was gem dragons in your house last week.
No, and that's fine. There are gem dragons in my house. I need Lomey to be very clear that he is blue.
Abu Dee Da Buddha.
I got past it the first time. I was like, we're going to move on.
Buddy, I hope you can
There
get
was
past it
mercy
the 30th
offered
time.
there earlier.
There was.
Can't last. Yeah, you keep saying it.
Because I said at least you aren't a green dragon. Because people says if I were green, I would die. In that song, that's what everyone thought it was.
I almost said it's not a creative color.
If I were green, I would die. That's what people thought it was.
Anyway. Oh, God. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all very, very much. Next week we are off because there's a dueling artist stream between our very own Steve Harvey, not that Steve Harvey, and our very own Xilus Web chief mod gremlin extraordinaire and creator of all the lovely emotes that you've seen here.
And now has to go change all of Lomey's art to blue.
All of Lomey's art is now blue. I need that
It's
for next
okay.
week.
I changed my whole outfit too.
I will, I'll need that for next week. So get on it. But yeah, so in that in the spirit of that, we also do have Grim Awakening tomorrow at 9 o'clock. 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's a quick 90-minute game. It's really good. Jared runs a hell of a game with a bunch of really cool folks. And then Friday, unlike Saturday, Dark Dominion is streaming at 7 p.m. on Friday.
That's not how that works.
Halloween special, baby. We got to bend the rules a little bit. So
Halloween's Monday.
Halloween's Monday? Wait, no,
Yeah.
next Monday. Next Monday.
scheduling.
Oh, you
Scheduling
scared me.
sucks.
Wait.
No,
So they're
it's too much
doing it
to
on the 21st?
Correct.
For Halloween, that's on the 31st.
Correct, because
Okay.
Chris, the scheduling monster is the hardest monster for a D&D party.
Well,
to
no,
kill.
because you scared me because you said Friday because Halloween, and I have a band competition that weekend.
No,
so
you have-
my
you have
brain
time.
just went, oh, no. Okay.
It's now.
So,
It's now.
Anywho, we'll catch you all later, Internet. Thank you all for hanging out and joining us, and we will catch you all in the future.
The flippity flop.
Bye.
The flippity flop. Do they have fleas or do they have lice?